Good to be back. Let's start chronologically then. Last night, West Ham took on Chelsea. It was the Graham Potter derby.
Yeah.
I mean, the start of the game, I was actually at a comedy show last night in Liverpool. And I've gone to the toilet, come back out, it's 25 minutes in, there was 3 goals already.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the result, what it means for Chelsea. Obviously, Caicedo, Enzo with the goals. You know, good performance. Estevao, good debut there as well. Definitely, you know, got bums off seats in that game.
Chelsea, West Ham, do you reckon they look strong now, Chelsea?
Chelsea looked strong off the back of obviously winning the Super Cup and that, but
Club World Cup.
the Club World Cup, sorry. So it was just one of those things. But I think the biggest worry for them was obviously Palmer being injured in the warm-up. You know, so it was like, okay, they had a certain plan to go into the game, but then, to be honest, they didn't even need him.
No.
They didn't even need him.
They didn't.
The players like Estevao kind of stood out. He was very sharp. João Pedro, who I've spoken about highly before he was at Chelsea, he's doing wonders.
Goal and assist, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yeah. He's scoring so many goals already, you know. So for me, Chelsea look good. Obviously, they wasn't really tested.
Very worrying signs for West Ham. I don't think Chelsea fans should get too excited by it, though, just simply because they did score 2 goals past them, and there's question marks over Chelsea's defence. No, they scored. I know they got one,
was offside,
they still nearly went up, and if that was, it was fraction offside, right? So I don't think he needs to be too excited yet with that win.
I have to say though, Estevao looks a talent. I mean, like we just watched Max Dalman. He looks a real talent, but Estevao, who obviously replaced Cole Palmer, didn't really look like they missed him much, to be honest. But I agree with Chelsea. I just think Tosin, Adebayo and Chalobah, for example, they're 2 centre-backs yesterday, 2 very capable centre-backs, but throughout the length of a 38-game season, you know, we were talking about them as title contenders before. I think they need to focus on securing top 4 and making sure they don't fall into that battle before they can start thinking about the title. They're building, they look alright, but not to the levels that was being spoken about prior, especially if Palmer isn't the same Palmer who we've seen at times. His 2025 hasn't been great.
It's 8 months, lad. 8 months since he scored an open play goal.
It's not good.
January.
I reckon though I reckon they've actually got a shout this season though
To win the league?
Not to win the league, but I think a lot of people are kind of underplaying, you know, their team. I know, defensively they've lost Colwill at back. Yeah, defensively, Chalobah centre back as well is going to be a bit difficult because they haven't got that experience. But I think going forward is where their biggest advantage is because they can score goals.
They've got a million players.
Do you know what I mean? And they have the legs and they have the quality in centre mid. And then even Reece James coming on yesterday, you saw some of the balls that he slotted through, you know, from that inverted position.
That pass was insane.
Oh, mate.
It's always the best passes when you see players like clawing at it just with the last they can possibly get on the length of their arms and legs, and they just still can't get it. It was exquisite.
I mean, how many positives are there to take away from this game for Chelsea? João Pedro scores again. Pedro Neto, talented player. Both the midfielders score, the centre-back scores. And if you actually look at the subs that they brought on, I mean, we're talking about Jaro Hato. We're talking about Wesley Fofana, who once was 70 million. We're talking about Reece James, Gittins, Andre Santos. Some names didn't even make it. You know,
I think it's just more also that just like we said, it's just how poor are West Ham. That's what it's like. So I don't know how much credit I can give Chelsea just yet, because against Palace they looked really stale, really flat.
That's why I'm not super convinced. It's only 2 games in, right? Last week we're going to talk about the City game, but last week I thought City were completely back and they were going to dominate the league, and then we've seen what's happened today. Like, you just can't guess what's going to happen too early in the season. It's too early.
Too soon.
And if they had won at Stamford Bridge, I'd be a lot more worried about them. But just that performance against Palace are a good side, by the way. Glasnow's doing very well with them. But still, you'd expect Chelsea to beat them, spending £2 million on that midfield that they've got, etc., etc. And he didn't. So I'm not super convinced yet, but it's only 2 games in.
Not super convinced yet, I agree. And Chelsea fans themselves wouldn't want to get carried away with that result against West Ham. But on paper, it's your London rivals. You go there and absolutely smoke them. You go 1-0 down, that shows a bit of character to come back, which you're trying to build across the season when you've got so many new faces in. It's the character that wins you these games sometimes. So listen, if you're a Chelsea fan, absolutely brilliant result. Nothing to worry about, really.
They're loving it.
They're absolutely loving it. So that was Friday night. Shout out anyone who had that prediction. We've got in the chat here someone that said Ulf says 5-0 was my guess for that game. So 5-1, not too bad at all. So Chelsea fans absolutely buzzing. If you are a West Ham fan though, get in touch on the Saturday Football Show. Tell us how you feel. Started off very well. 6 minutes in, Lucas Paquetá scores. El Diouf with the assist.
It's a good goal.
Coming from
fantastic goal
from France. The left back looks really good. But then 10 minutes later, it's 1-1. And then what is it at the minute about West Ham that once they concede 1, The second goes in 8 minutes later. The third goes in 7 minutes after that. And then in the second half, 10 minutes into the second half, they concede the fourth, Caicedo, and then Chalobah scores a fifth 4 minutes after that. They seem to fold like a deck of cards once they do fold.
They fell apart, didn't they? They fell apart. And you look at this team and you think, right, so you've got Todibo, Kilman, Aguard, Wan-Bissaka. You've got 4 sort of functional, solid defenders there who should be able to deal with those set pieces, like I said earlier. So looking at that, it's really worrying.
That is an absolute battering at home. Where do they go from here? We'll start with West Ham and you, Doyle.
Second time they've lost now already in the season. Played 2 games, lost convincingly twice. One of them was against a newly promoted team. I don't think this game was about Chelsea, to be quite honest with you. I think it was about West Ham and how poor they were. I'm quite worried for them. Don't know what Graham Potter's going to do. I think we had a little bet before the season started, and we said Graham Potter, I reckon, would be the first
He'd be the first one to go, innit?
And look what's happening. I can't imagine that the West Ham fans are very happy with what they're seeing. They've got quality in that team, and it's just not working. Honestly, I think it set pieces. How many they concede? 3 in one game.
3.
3, yeah. 3 lad. A hat-trick of them.
Which for a 3 at the back team as well is really worrying. You've got 3 centre backs. You've got to deal with
it. And you can't do it. And Cole Palmer wasn't even playing their best player in the warm-up. Yeah, so got to start worrying for West Ham fans. I don't know how you feel. If there's any in the chat right now, let us know how you feel. But wow.